Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 6th of January. Happy New Year to everyone. Okay, so the euro dollar. Through the Christmas period, see this sort of decent shove up on the euro dollar there on very light volumes, but it did push up all the same. Obviously, with the US attack on Iran, we've seen a sell-off late last week there. Following that, as money went to safety and oil prices shot up, the yen strengthened. Money, it's just the question is: are we going to see a continuation of that? Or now a lot of traders are back. Are we going to just see a continuation of the moves at the higher lows, higher highs that we were seeing pre the holiday period? Short term, it's you come down to this 4-hourly chart. It's a bit difficult, really. If it pushes above that weekly pivot, maybe a bit more bullish. It has broken the downward trend-ish, but it's from a sideward price action. As I said, to be on the long side, I'd need to be on the euro dollar here. I'd need to be seeing the price break above that weekly pivot. Just coming down, you see it's pretty much flatlined. It's got its 60-minute 50, which is just above here, which may provide a bit of resistance. So in a sense, we're between the rock and a hard place. We've got the daily pivot below there at 11.56, if that's in the correct area, which I don't think it's far off. Yep, it looks about right. Just checking 11.55, that's spot on. Okay, and then we've got the weekly. So they're the deciding factors in terms of bullish or bearish, really, for me. If it starts pushing above there, well, may look at more at the bullish side of this market. Thing is, there's still not a lot of volatility overall, and it may be just worth letting it, as I say, show its hand a little bit, and then maybe try and get into maybe a longer position on it. The pound. So come out in time frames here, and so I just saw some spiky action in the short term there. It's again same sort of price action we were seeing pretty much up until Christmas, pre-Christmas. Pre-Christmas, we just saw that sort of sell-off on the Brexit sort of uncertainty here, and we may see a continuation. In fact, I almost prefer on looking at the pound on the short side, although there is a weekly pivot still untouched above. So it may be a case just let the market settle in a little bit here and show its hand. Air kiss the daily pivot, but the, as I say, weekly pivot's above. If it starts breaking above this daily pivot, it may be a shot to the upside. There are buy orders sitting above these highs here, I can see, which may in itself draw price upwards. So as much as it's looking a bit gloomy at the moment, there are orders sitting there. However, that said, likewise there are sell orders sitting below these near-term lows here, which if it does start selling off, well, that could take us or contribute to the move to the downside, I should say. Okay, that's the pound. Dollar yen. So there you are. There's this move to safety in the yen. It already started moving a little bit before things happen there. We're sitting there now, a little bit of a move, a bounce that we're seeing at the moment potentially. Is it a dead cat bounce? Just sort of move up and then roll back over. We'll see. Weekly pivots above. Things have settled, I guess, a little bit since the news came out there, but goodness knows what sort of retaliation may be seen, and what further moves come in there. But certainly the tensions may affect the yen further. But so it's a case I'd rather almost be on the downside of it rather than the upside at this stage. Although it's looking like it's got potential for this move up there, or move it back up towards that weekly pivot. Trend note, I mean, as you can see on this short time, lower highs, lower lows all the way through here at the moment, but to break back above that weekly pivot, daily pivot there may give us a signal back to that weekly. Okay, Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar again, similar picture on the dailies here. And again, weekly pivot above may cause a draw. So the picture's pretty much the same right the way through these markets against the dollar here. chopping away at the moment. It's whether or not that, as I say, now the volumes are coming back into them, or will come back into the market properly, whether we'll see these bounces back into pre Christmas period moves. At this moment, well, as I said, well, daily and weekly. Daily's been hit there. Just finding support of the monthly pivot here, but there's the potential for that. Really can't really see an obvious trade of coming through. If it starts breaking those lows though, maybe the short side is the safe bet. But Canadian dollar, so again with the price of oil kicking in, it sort of helped the Canadian dollar a little bit there, I guess more than some of these other markets, but not really, didn't really see the same sell-off there, and as I say, maybe oil sort of based in terms of this not running it. But again, we've got the weekly pivot above. It's sort of yeah, Canadian dollar seems certainly a stronger candidate at the moment. Most of that was moving through though. Just looking at this 4-hourly picture here, lower highs, lower lows really. And chop through most of the last part of the week there. Daily wise, daily onto 60-minute, you can just see the chop there. It's very unclear in terms of what's going through here. Maybe it will push up towards that weekly pivot at some point, but choppy at this stage. Okay, yeah. Not much more to say there. News-wise today, there's a lot of low-key data coming out. Very low-key. The final manufacturing data in Japan is already out. They just read it, but these are all final numbers. Whereas before we used to get the services PMI for the UK coming out, would have been due out today. We've got the final one now because they put a flash one out first, so a lot of this data that was once the sort of key data is now very low key, so not a lot of data coming out today. So the markets may watch for more tweets from Trump, who's threatening further action if any action is taken against the US. So tensions may prevail, and we may see a bit of a continuation of what started here. Any sort of lightening up in that and volumes coming through may change that picture though. So it's a case of maybe sitting, waiting and seeing in summary. Have a good one. Bye for now.